The divorce settlement had gone so far in my favor that I even had a surgery scheduled to give me a new nose, with some wrinkle removal thrown in, all explicitly on Sean's dime. In the end, I canceled the appointment. There was a fee for canceling on such short notice, but that was okay, especially since I wasn't the one paying. I am by no means one of those natural beauty type of people, but I felt like it would somehow be a betrayal of the horror I had endured. I wanted to move past it, not erase it. Still, my crooked, smashed nose was the only reminder of Sean's existence that I kept. Well, that and the monthly checks. Everything else was removed from the house, purging all of the leftover odd bits like his toothbrush, as well as more significant reminders like every single photo with him in it. I had a big fire in the backyard with Ella by my side, and later hired somebody to remove the fire pit since he had built it. True, Ella was also technically a reminder. She was, after all, Sean's biological daughter, as well as mine. But he was, thank God, no longer her father in any real sense. She had his dark hair, yes, but none of his cruelty. But other than the checks, my nose, and my precious 6-year-old, there were no reminders of Sean anywhere. Oh, and the meat of the month. With some maddening effort, I had succeeded in getting the USPS to stop delivering anything with Sean's name on it to my mailbox, but the meat of the month was delivered by UPS. That first time, on the second Tuesday in November 2017, I tried to sort it out with the driver of the truck. He told me to contact corporate and was sorry that he couldn't help. I sent him on his way with the package of meat and called the number he'd given me. The lady there told me to sort it out with the Meat of the Month company, but I didn't know the name of the company, so I had to wait until the second Tuesday in December when the next package arrived. I looked at the name on the package, found a number online, called it, and finally got it sorted out. Or so I thought. About a year ago, the second Tuesday of last January to be exact, we came home from Ella's piano recital to find a mess on our front stoop. There were bits of styrofoam and cardboard and wax paper everywhere. It didn't take a detective to realize that UPS had left the meat of the month on our front steps and something had gotten into it. Ugh, goddamn Sean, I muttered, grabbing a handful of trash and swinging the front door open. Dad? What did he do? Asked Ella. Oh, he keeps getting his meat sent here, I said, regretting my slip of the tongue. It's not a big deal, honey. I didn't see any meat, said Ella. Oh, something tore the package apart and ate it all up, I said. What ate it up? Like a bear? I don't think we have bears around here, honey. Maybe a raccoon, maybe a cat or something, I said absent-mindedly, throwing the package into the kitchen trash. A cat? Said Ella. Like a wild cat? I suppose so. What's it going to eat now? I sighed, seeing where she was going with this. I didn't necessarily want a bunch of wild animals feeding just outside of my front door, but I also didn't want Ella feeling sad. I didn't want her feeling sad ever again. I knew I couldn't control that, but I could give her this. Why don't you put out a can of tuna and we'll see what happens? I said. Yay! Said my beautiful, kind daughter. And so we began setting out food on our front steps. No matter how much food we put out during the next month, it got eaten. Tuna, cans of cat food, the pickings from the supermarket rotisserie chickens, bones and all, even leftover pepperoni pizza, it all got eaten. We never saw whatever it was that was feasting on our offerings, though sometimes late at night, when I was lying restless in bed, I would hear something shuffling up our steps, scraping its claws against the concrete and snorting in excitement. I didn't know what it was, but it definitely wasn't a cat. In fact, whenever I heard that thing feeding away, it freaked me out. It sounded huge and dangerous. But every morning, Ella would run down the hall and open the front door, seeing if the food was gone, to make sure that our friend was still visiting us. She would smile with a child's joy, and I would sometimes catch flashes in my mind of her running down the hall the other way, away from Sean. And anything that brought her any measure of happiness filled my heart, and I figured I'd be feeding this damn thing for the rest of my life, or its, whichever came first. One night, in early February, I had just settled into bed when I heard it knock over the trash can. It did that sometimes. I glanced over at the clock and was surprised. It usually came much later, when I was too tired to get out of bed. Maybe now I could finally catch it in the act, and find out just what the hell it was. Ella had actually given it a name, Hubert, but we still had no idea what it actually was. A coyote? A wolf? A bobcat? Several bobcats? By then, I was quite open to the possibility that it was a bear, since it ate so much damn food and sounded so large. I crept down the hall, not wanting to make any noise that would scare it off. I was excited and a bit scared, though I knew the barrier of the front door would protect me. I considered waking Ella up for a moment, but I figured she would be too loud and might scare Hubert off. I decided to take a picture so I could show her in the morning. I went back to my room to grab my phone. Then I was back in the hall, in darkness, with just a little bit of moonlight shining in through the windows of my front door, casting a faint glow at the end of the hall. I paused at the end of the hall and put my phone into camera mode. The doorknob began to rattle, and my heart jumped into my throat. "Open up, you idiot!" My ex-husband screamed in a drunken voice from the other side of the door. I didn't hesitate. I dialed 911. "You calling the police, huh? Good luck. Not gonna get jack squat with this jammer thing I got." I held the phone to my ear, but it wasn't ringing. I looked down and saw that I wasn't getting any reception. He'd brought some kind of device that blocked the signal, I realized. "Open this goddamn door. I just want to talk. You never listen to me. We could clear this whole thing up. Right now. Let's just talk." I heard a small, frightened voice behind me. "Mama? Is that Dad?" I whipped around. "You get back in your room, honey, and lock the door. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter what, unless it's me or the police. Okay, honey? Can you do that?" "Okay," said Ella, and I couldn't see her, but I heard her footsteps moving back down the hall until they were drowned out by the rattling of the doorknob. "You open this door now," said Sean, in a calm voice now. "You don't think I'd come here without my shotgun, do you? You think a stupid door is gonna stop me, Kathy? Only question is, if you want to have a nice, reasonable talk, or you want me to blow your goddamn stupid guts out. That's the only question, Kath." My body tensed completely for a moment, and then something inside of me burst, and I ran to the kitchen, snatching 2 knives from the magnetic strip screwed onto the side of the cabinet next to the sink. It was all I had. I thought that if I could get him just as he came in the door, stabbing as hard as I could with both knives, I had a shot. Without a gun of my own, without a working phone, all that I could hope was to stab him in some vital place before he killed me. I stood pressed against the wall, just next to the door, forcing myself to take deep, quiet breaths. "Have it your way, then," said Sean. I heard the chico chick of him cocking the shotgun. He was going to blow the lock off, and then it would be time. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and opened them, bracing myself for the noise and impact of the shot. The shot came, but after I heard Sean scream in agony, and it wasn't aimed at the door. The flash of the muzzle through the window lit up the living room like lightning. For a long time, all I could hear was Sean screaming through the ringing in my ears. Then the screaming started to sound wet and finally stopped. I heard a shuffling sound and a few grunts. I heard a wet, tearing sound and then a crunch. I slumped down against the wall and started to cry. I forced myself to my feet and, on trembling legs, I made my way to Ella's room. "Honey," I said, "you can open up now. It's safe." The door unlocked and swung open. Ella was standing there in her My Little Pony pajamas, silently crying. I took her in my arms and stroked her hair. "It's okay, sugar bugger," I said. "It's okay." And it was. I didn't look outside until the morning. There was nothing on my stoop but a shotgun and 6 uneaten cans of tuna fish. After that, the payments from Sean stopped, of course. I've been in the process of trying to claim his, sadly not very large, estate, but it's a complicated process, especially without a body. I'll tell you this, though. You'd be surprised at how many women there are out there who are eager to join my Meat of the Month club, and how easy it is to discreetly lure their abusive men to my house. Ella, Hubert, and I are doing just fine.